Ladies and gentlemen, after a couple weeks hiatus and a couple of missing hair follicles, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast, episode number 10. We cannot be here without you guys. We thank you so much for joining us here tonight through the I-95 Sports Network, through the Blackjack Media Group. We can't thank them enough for letting us be on their airwaves tonight. Al, I know we normally start with some kind of Star Wars pun, but it's episode 10 and we haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah, that's it. We haven't gone to 10 in Star Wars. I can't remember what MCU reference it was. Tyler, I know you've been gone for a couple weeks. We mentioned The Force Awakens. We didn't go too much further past that. We want people to like us, not hate us. So we're staying away from the other parts of the Star Wars trilogy. But Tyler, you are correct. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Glad to see that beautiful face again. This is episode 10, ladies and gentlemen. And Tyler, real quick, I got a fun special surprise for you, Ty. Okay? Because it's episode 10.
Okay.
All right. We put together a special highlight package revisiting the past 9 episodes. All right, here, ready? Take a look. All right, hold on. My phone's ringing. Hold on. Hey, yeah, Joe. Hey, it's Joe. Hey, it's our producer. Hey, Joe, what's up? No, there's no highlight package? K&K Sports Social, no? Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Joe. All right, so I'm sorry. Unfortunately, there is no highlight package. Maybe at 20, maybe 25. Maybe we'll try to put something together for everybody. But real quick, let's come over tonight's lineup, Ty. The Impact World Championship has been seen. We finally saw it after 3 months in hiatus. The New Japan Cup Finals are set. A very well done promo by an unemployed WWE superstar last night on Raw. AJ Styles had a statement title defense on Smackdown. We're going to main event the show with Night 2 and the huge title for title match at the Great American Bash. But first, we're going to curtain jerk the show. We're going to light the fuse, bring the boom, Fyter Fest. Ty, what did you think of Night 1, buddy?
Night 1 for both shows was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was, I caught up on NXT over the weekend. I've been busy, and Fyter Fest again. Just everything really delivered. I thought they were both really good shows, and Night 2 should definitely be just as good, honestly.
Yeah, I was really happy. The one thing that we talked about last week, we kind of made the assumption that Cody Rhodes, there's 10 push-ups for me, that Cody and Jake Hager were going to main event the show, and it turned around. They went to their big gun. They went to 5-star Kenny Omega to put on a main event. What did you think about that switch?
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting turn of events. It's not often that you really see the tag team matches really legitimately steal a show, and they got the job done.
They did. Now, the tag team division at AEW, we were saying it last week, Ty, that is their strength.
Yeah.
They have 13 or 12 or 13 or whatever it is of the top their tag teams in the professional wrestling world. I mean, that is their go-to. That is their bread and butter. When we get to tomorrow night, to Night 2, you're going to see just as much of them. They're all about tag teams in AEW. I love it. With the main event, Trent's mom, I mean, Tyler, my mom used to drive me and my best friends to my sporting events when I was a kid, too. That brought a tear to my eye. We didn't have a minivan. We had a 1979 Bonneville station wagon. So that was just as good. Your thoughts on the intro and the match in general?
Yeah, the intro was great. The match was just as good. It was also something like, again, it's like you've never really seen that before, so it was a nice little fresh thing to see.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And she sat in the crowd and she watched, and then that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, they did very well.
Yeah, great match. Those two teams we know can go. Post-match, though, was a little interesting. FTR was sitting ringside having a couple beers. They came down, offered the champs a celebratory beer. One we knew was going to take it. The other one, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, to say the least.
I can see why it upset people. Like, when I offer somebody a beer, if he dumps it out, I mean, we know Kenny Omega doesn't drink beer. I guess maybe that should have been the telltale sign not to do that. But the lack of respect from Kenny Omega, that was negative stars, Ty. He went down in my book about that. And we joked around last week about Kenny Omega heel turn. That upset me. That upset Adam Page. That upset FTR, and even the Young Bucks came out, and it ended up being a 3-on-3 mishmash at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he had it coming. He did.
Unbelievable.
But that's probably the biggest heel turn of all.
Oh, that was heartbreaking. That was a waste of 12 ounces right there. Cody and Jake Hager, going back to them in the TNT Championship, that got a little confusing at the end. You want to go into that one, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make a ton of sense, and I can't really still wrap my head around it. I don't. It's hard to explain.
See, the thing is, we were going over the match picks. We were like, why are they doing this to Hager? They're going to make Hager look bad. Now, Hager got the L. They got the loss. And honestly, he didn't look bad at all because he was choking Cody out. The problem that kind of bothered me with that match, I don't have a problem with the outcome, but the fact that they played Cody's music right away. Like, it took away the suspense of who won the match. Like, imagine if they didn't play Cody's music. Hager's got his hands in the air, and then the ring announcer announces Cody as the winner. And I think that would have made more sense. I mean, I don't have a problem with the outcome the way it was. I figured Cody was retaining anyway. And like I said, Hager still looks strong because of it. But I would have held off on the music until after the ring announcer. That's my only complaint about that. I'm going to nitpick here on this one, Ty.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was calling for, a couple of weeks before my little my little future endeavor that I thought it was going to be a little while before Cody Rhodes, there's my 10 push-ups.
Yeah,
that I figured it'd be a while before Cody drops the title, regardless of who he goes up against. It's just I don't see them wanting to play musical championships. I think they had the right idea though with the ending, but like I said, like you were saying, rather their timing on everything was just really off. Yeah.
Like Cody sold it too. It took him a while to get up after that choke that Hager had him in, but he pinned himself. It's unfortunate. Private Party defeated Santana and Ortiz. None of us had that right.
No.
I believe all four of us got that one wrong. And now Private Party is going to be getting a World Tag Team title match that we'll get to in a little bit. I just want to throw that out there now. The women's title match, Ty. I took a shot at Penelope Ford about 2-3 weeks ago, and boy, is my foot in my mouth now. That was a performance.
Yeah, that was that arguably could have been one of the best matches on the show. Again, Cheetah, I don't see her dropping her title anytime soon. But again, they put on a fantastic match.
I didn't think Penelope Ford had that in her. And they were saying it, time after time. And a lot of times when you hear the announcers, he's having the match of his life. He's fighting his heart on, blah, blah, blah. She literally was having the match of her life right in front of our eyes. I don't know. I didn't know she could do any of that. I didn't know she had that in her. Penelope Ford went from here to up here in my books. I mean, that was an outstanding match and a losing effort. And Chris Jericho, I believe, said it best. Chris Jericho said a lot of stuff on
yeah, he did.
The microphone. But he said it best. Even though she lost, she won.
Yeah, no, that match was a big stepping stone for her in the sense of, I don't even want to say a big rebound, but it was just it definitely helped her make a statement for herself. Yeah, it was just a great match. I didn't expect that.
No, that was a lot better. Like I said, I think everyone in the wrestling world kind of knocks AEW in their women's division. They have a couple stars there. Penelope Ford just put her name in the conversation. Along with Sheeta. I don't think anyone's ever doubted Sheeta. And I think Britt Baker is somewhere in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
And then in the opening match, another match that actually me, John, and John got wrong, Ty, but I looked at the picks. You still made your picks online. You went with Jurassic Express over MJF and Wardlow. What was the thought process on that?
Luck.
Luck, there you
Honestly, it was kind of a weird match for me to pick. I didn't know really. It could have really gone either way. You know, Jurassic Express has a little bit of momentum. Jungle Boy himself has a little bit of momentum going behind him, you know, being the first open challenger for the TNT title. So I kind of put that into effect that they can carry some tag team momentum through with them. Yeah, it was just I felt like it could have gone either way. And
yeah, a miscommunication by Wardlow and MJF was what cost them. And I think it was Excalibur said it, and it kind of dawned on me. I mean, normally, like I said, when you put two singles guys in there against a tag team, sometimes the single guys win. This time the tag team won. You got a legitimate tag team beat two singles wrestlers. Like I said, all being a miscommunication. MJF got in his face. Real quick before we bring in John and John for their picks, something that's been bothering me for a very long time, Marco Stunt. He reminds me of somebody, and I can't think who it is, and it hit me finally last Wednesday night. You ever watch Roseanne? You remember Darlene from Roseanne?
No, that's before.
People look up Darlene. What was her like? Connor. Darlene Connor. That's who Marco Stunt is. Hopefully, John and John will get that reference. I know they're a little bit more towards my age than yours. But coming up, we have our Fyter Fest picks. We first want to bring in. We'll bring in John Smith. I believe we have to bring him in first to keep our graphics set. John, there you go.
Uh-oh.
He's got the conga line going. There it is.
There we go. Jeez. Of course, my camera's not working right. Okay.
Not a problem, Pat. That's why we have pre-production meetings, buddy. That's why we take care of that stuff there.
Right.
Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. We have John Smith. He's coming in. He's going to join us as well as John DeConnie. He's in the house. John, how's your camera? Your camera's okay?
Seems to be all right.
All right, good. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. So do you guys get my Darlene from Roseanne? Am I wrong here? Marco Stunt?
Absolutely.
I see. They got the same hair going.
Yeah.
Exactly. It took me a long time to figure it out, and all of a sudden it just hit me. But real quick, so we're going to go. I keep on saying real quick. I think there's going to be a drinking game coming from that. Like Fiancé brought out something else I say all the time. They have a drinking game. Anyway, going over last week's picks, these are the records that we had come up. Don't let the sign fool you guys. The Conti is spelled correctly. Last week I went 7-3. I went 7-3 with my picks. The rest of the gentlemen went 5-5. 500. There's John Smith. 500 going into it. We didn't really do too well with double or nothing. And those are the standings right now as we speak. So going forward into Fyter Fest, what do you think we should do first? We'll do some tag team action here. This is going to be an interesting one. SoCal Uncensored against the Dark Order, along with Colt Cabana. Now, Colt Cabana's not officially in yet. John Smith, take it away, buddy.
I mean, Colt Cabana is going to end up in the match, I believe. I don't know where they're going. I don't see Brody Lee. I almost called him the other words. I almost got 10 push-ups from you. I don't see Brody Lee losing this match. I don't see SCU doesn't need this match at all. They haven't been building them up. I don't see any way that they win this match.
John DeConnie.
Yes, I am in agreement. Now, this is exactly what bit me on the hind parts last week by writing off Jurassic Express, saying, they don't, no one cares whether they win or lose. Everyone loves them anyway. But I think that's kind of the same thing here with SCU. SCU doesn't need the win. And if you're going to forward the storyline of Cabana being drawn into the Dark Order, you want happy times. So they need to win to continue to pull him in.
Tyler!
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Dark Order. Or am I even saying that right? Oh my God. You go on a 3-week hiatus and everything's all insane. Whatever team Brody Lee is on, that's who I'm taking.
Yeah, now, if Colt Cabana joins the Dark Order, are they the new Dark Order?
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an ongoing trend. I think it's going to be the same thing that we saw a couple weeks ago. Brody does the dirty work, lets Colt Cabana get the win. Maybe an Anna Jay sighting. That'd be fun. Maybe find out what Anna Jay is doing in the Dark Order.
That'd be nice.
I spy a Jersey guy, gentlemen. Joey Janela's got a tall order there. That's Lance Archer, and that's a very, very upset and pissed off Lance Archer. Ty, you can lead us off on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take Lance Archer here. We've been saying a couple weeks back when the whole TNT Championship sparked up that between Cody and him, either one of them really could have taken that title. It would be kind of foolish to kill Lance Archer's momentum. So, I'll give him the win tomorrow.
Yeah, John the Connie, he's got to get momentum back.
I absolutely agree. I think Janela, obviously, he's not exactly enhancement talent. He's certainly more than that, but I think that's going to be his job here. He's going to take probably a couple of ugly bumps and put the Murder Hawk monster over big time.
Yeah, Joey Janela's the right guy in the situation, John Smith. You think that?
Squash.
Yeah.
I give this match less than a minute and a half, like we did with that match last week.
Oh, you're going to go under 90 seconds with this. I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I think Janela's going to get his licks in. I think, 5 minutes maybe? I don't know. Maybe just because it's a Jersey guy and I want Joey to do well, I'm going to give him a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt that this might actually be a decent match. He was in the main event against Ambrose and gave Ambrose a run for his money, so I don't know how you make Lance Archer squash
for you.
Yeah. I have an idea. I'm going to let you guys talk first. Is this just Nyla Rose? They're saying she's got a surprise for people. Is this anything? John McConney, I'll let you lead on this one. Is this anything?
Her surprise? She wants her title back? I have no idea.
Well, she's announced she's going to have an opponent. It might be one, an enhancement talent. But she said somebody's saying that Nyla Rose has a prize. Ty, what are you thinking?
I don't know, because if I'm correct, well, not if I'm correct. Someone from WWE had tweeted out that there's a bunch of pissed off wrestlers ready in 2 weeks. So I don't see anybody making a surprise debut here. So I'm very interested in what's going to come to be. I really can't. I don't know. This is interesting. I'm actually legitimately interested.
I think we're all in agreement. It's on the site. It's on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. It's going to be Nyla Rose versus question marks. I don't think any of us are going to bet Nyla Rose. But what do you think the surprise is, John Smith? Whoa, you guys are missing something.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of is she might be challenging a man.
Interesting. Going intergender in AEW, huh?
That was the. I mean, not technically, but.
Tread lightly here. Okay, so I don't know what Nia Rose's surprise is, but you think Little Miss Abaddon surprises her? I think you throw Abaddon at her right now when she's not expecting it. She's been off TV. Was it 2 weeks now, or is it last week, or whatever it was we talked about her? I think you throw Abaddon at her right now. Just get her in there and just have Nyla Rose just run scared, completely sell this gimmick, completely just make it a memory, make it this huge thing. It is Fyter Fest. It is going up against the Bash. Get Abaddon at her.
No, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's it. I was missing the obvious, but we got a Donnybrook here, boys. We have a Donnybrook. Who wants first crack at this one? I have no idea. This could go every which way.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest one to pick on the card because I don't know whether you put FTR and the Young Bucks over and keep things nice between them right now, or you let them lose and already start to see cracks in the uneasy friendship. And, because we all know it's leading up to them facing each other. So I guess if you put a gun to my head, maybe I pick Butcher, Blade, and the Lucha Bros simply for the fact that it starts the tension between the Bucks and FTR.
All right, Ty, follow it up, buddy.
I didn't think about it that way before I made my pick because that was actually really good. I picked Young Bucks and FTR just so they would keep the peace. I could see them riding it out a little bit longer. They got something nice going on right now. But who knows? I've been proven wrong on this show multiple times. So, yeah. I'm still going to stick with Young Bucks and FTR, though.
All righty. John Smith.
Hashtag bleep show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got the Lucha Brothers winning with
Blade and the Butcher.
With the Butcher and Blade, yeah. I don't know when they're gonna have FTR and the Young Bucks start their little tension. I mean, they've already started it a little bit. But,
yeah, they were heavily involved in the pouring of the 15 negative. I'm sorry, the negative stars. We gave John Smith. We gave Kenny Omega negative stars on the beer pour. That was unacceptable.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they were a part of the mess at the end. They were on opposite sides. I'm going to go with FTR and the Bucks as well. Just a couple things with this, though. Blade and Butcher, we talked about this last week. I forgot to mention it. I think they're wearing white because don't butchers wear white? Yeah. Now, I think they get the blood stains on them a little bit, maybe like meat juice or whatever you want to call it. I think that's what's missing. And I think that's why they went from black to white. And don't butchers wear white anyway. And then, I forgot.
I think they're just supposed to be eccentric weirdos.
Yeah.
And when it comes right down to it, what's missing is the bunny.
Yeah, the bunny. I'm the biggest Pentagon fan there is. He was my guy in Lucha Underground. Love him. I just think this is too much for him and his brother and the Blade and the Butcher. I just think maybe it's just going to be like, I hate to use this phrase because it's been used so much recently, but anything you can do, we can do better between FTR and the Bucks. The Bucks are going to do flips, and the FTR is going to do their fists, and they're going to try to top each other and eventually get the win out of it. Next week, as we found out, that Moxley stayed home, washed his tights for an extra week. They're going to fight for the Fallen is next weekend on the 15th, I believe the date is. So maybe, if it escalates that quickly, you could possibly get Bucks and FTR the next week. So I don't have anything you guys want to add to that real quick before we move forward? All right, Taz says Mox has got a case of the chicken bleeps. That was pretty funny.
And that
AEW getting himself over too much, in my opinion.
Doesn't run a sloppy shop.
Yeah. Taz likes to talk, and this is ECW Taz. This isn't Taz with two Z's right now. John McConnell, am I wrong in saying that, or am I correct?
Absolutely.
It's his gimmick, basically. It's his slogan. It's his colors. Why are they doing this? He's overshadowing Cage, in my opinion.
Yeah. Before we move forward, something I want to bring up, John DeConti, specifically you, because you're the one that keeps on making the jokes about it. I noticed and I fell out of my chair, especially what Jericho said after the fact. Did you go on to AEWshop.com and get your American Nightmare temporary tattoos that they were showcasing before the Cody and Hager match?
They were sold out by the time I got there.
They were? Did you hear what Jericho said after? Shivani, you put him on your ass. I was watching it on replay. I had to stop it and then go get tissues because I was crying. I was laughing so hard.
Oh, good.
Kyle, we'll kick off you. We don't have a graphic for this one, but due to their win over Santana and Ortiz, Private Party gets the next shot up at Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Ty.
I'm going to take the Private Party on this one. I know you and I have been talking for a couple weeks about the Omega and Page marriage starting to fall apart eventually. And it's getting kind of boring for me. I'd like to see it fall apart soon. So I'm going to take Private Party.
Yeah, they're getting worse than Sasha and Bailey right now, John DeConti.
I'm not sure that that's possible, but
I don't know. Sasha and Bailey do have the record for the longest waiting feud. Was it been 3 years now?
Exactly. But I'm gonna say the champs retain here just because I think the chance to do it and make the feel good moment was last week. This having no build up to this really, other than them winning the match private party last week. I say this is not the spot where you do that, but certainly I've been wrong before.
Yeah, this is. I don't want to say it's filler, but this is. I want to say this is substituting in for Moxley and Cage being pushed back a week. John Smith. I know we have one more match to talk about. I'm assuming that match will be the main event. Do you think they're going to put Omega in the main event again this time, or are they going to go with Jericho and Cassidy?
They got to go Jericho. Last week, Omega didn't draw them the ratings they wish that he did. So I think they got to go a different direction this week, especially when you're going up against Adam Cole.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you got in the match, John?
Which one? The Jericho match?
No. We're gonna get to that next. The tag titles we haven't talked about. I don't think we got
tag. Oh yeah, I didn't give you mine. I got the. I almost called them the Street Profits. I got them. I think for the same reasons I said that I thought the Best Friends were going to win last week. I think they're just going to, do it this week instead, because Paige and Omega should end up. But leap or get off the pot, AEW. Honestly.
Yeah. Two things from my end. One with Private Party. Last week, it's a nice event. It's AEW Fighter Fest. Everyone's kind of going all out. Mark Quinn comes out. He's got the leopard and the Private Party. He's got the tails. He looks MVP like, Private Party. The champagne room, whatever. Isaiah Cassidy was wearing like a tank top. Like he didn't really look like he fit into a private. I don't think he would have got into the club with the Private Party. I think Isaiah Cassidy's got to step up their game. I think both these guys maybe at some point in the future. I'm gonna go double down on Kenny Omega and Adam Page. They got me the win last week. They got me those 3 extra points that none of you guys got. So I'm gonna double down on them. Like I said, I think this is gonna get dragged out. I think they have a plan for this, possibly maybe Double or Nothing or All Out's next right in September. And then I guess we were wrong last week. We called the main event wrong, but we're kind of getting the feeling now that Moxley and Cage is sidelined till Fight for the Fallen. That Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho will be going up against Adam Cole and Keith Lee. John Smith, we'll go in reverse order this time. I'll let you speak first.
I don't know where this is going. I think there's just Mike Tyson is basically going to be what makes this something worth watching. If they just have it be only Orange Cassidy versus Jericho with all the buildup, I don't know why you're going to put it in the main event. I think Mike Tyson is the reason that this is all happening. This is just a way for Tyson to get involved.
Okay, there's a follow-up question then. So hypothetically, there you go. I knew we were forgetting something. Hypothetically, if Moxley and Cage was happening this week, it would probably be the main event. Are you still putting Tyson in this, or do you think Jericho and Orange Cassidy would still main event if Tyson's involved, even with Cage and Moxley?
I didn't really put enough thought into it, I guess. But
if Tyson's involved, that's the huge payoff, right?
When I thought about it as them being the main event. I didn't think about the fact that it wouldn't have been had Moxley's wife not gotten sick. But maybe they are going to call him in, as a last minute thing, just because they're scrambling. But then again, I went 1-5 or 1-4 last week, so I would take what I say with a grain of salt.
I did. Tyler made the graphics this week. I did have everybody's individual records on the shows on that. And I guess you can thank Tyler for not throwing that 1-4 next to your name.
What's the last 5?
Yeah, well, John went 1-4 last week at Fighter Fest. You only got one match, right? Thank God for a Kuroshita, huh? Tyler, take the swig and then let me know what you think. You think Jericho mentioned Tyson last week? We haven't seen him or heard from him.
Yeah, so I mean, I picked Orange Cassidy solely with the mindset of if Jericho loses to Orange Cassidy, he's going to go berserk on TV, and I cannot wait for it.
Yep.
But when you tie in the fact that Mike Tyson hasn't been around in the last couple weeks, and he's pretty overdue for an appearance. It could be something where Mike Tyson could get physically involved. There could be something where he just causes a distraction, and this is an easy roll-up. Mike Tyson plays a pretty big hand in how the match is going to end if he shows up. So I'm going to pick Orange Cassidy just for amusement's sake.
Yeah. John the Connie. We've seen Chris Jericho versus The Undertaker. Orange Cassidy before. I'm just joking about it. Anyway, my reference to Undertaker being Orange Cassidy last week. John the Connie, who you got?
With what those two gentlemen just said, every fiber of my being wants to pick Orange Cassidy, but I just think Jericho is such a genius in terms of ring psychology and pure entertainment in a spot like this. I can't for the life of me figure out what I think he's going to do, but I cannot pick against my personal GOAT in the history of wrestling. Got to go with Y2J.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Be like you picking against Triple H.
I know exactly. I was gonna say Eva Marie, but
oh God.
I'm gonna go Orange Cassidy. I think Tyler. I forgot it. Not that I forgot about Tyson. I don't know. I just didn't think he would use him this time. I guess they could. They 100% could. So they're in a war right now, and I guess MJF made that abundantly clear before his match last week. That would only help my cause, but I just think Jericho. I think he gets screwed or something, and I guess Tyler's right. I think he's gonna snap. He's gonna flip out, and I think that's more of a payoff than him winning, to tell you the truth at this point. So, once again, Fyter Fest Night 2 is on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Oh, we got 4 people now. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. So, feel free to create your own pool with your friends. You can play along with us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool. Please do. Right now, we are going to move forward. John Smith. This is not so long for now. We will see you later when we talk about NXT, as well as the Great American Bash. We will see you in a little bit. John the Connie, you're going to stick around for a little bit.
All right.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, make way, make way. This is your time to shine. Catchy song that kicks off Impact. I enjoy that theme. John Connie, our senior Impact correspondent. Tyler, I was creating job titles for my friends while you were away. I hope you do not get upset by this. We hired them. They are on payroll.
I do not mind as long as I'm not the one paying them.
John the Connie, take it away. What do you want to talk about first here? Your show.
Okay. Well, we started the show with Bay versus Suicide in an interesting but not all that long match. We had Suicide perform. I don't know if he has a nickname for it, but I'm not sure who's under the mask this year. I did a little research to see who had been wearing the mask along the way. It's changed, I guess, like 6 times. I don't know who's under it right now, but it made me giggle for a minute when he performed something that looked an awful lot like a coffin drop.
I think, yeah, I did catch that, yes. Yeah, to the outside of the ring, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Bay wins with a modified Famouser once again.
They jumped off the rope with the Famouser. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. It would have been, a little better had Josh Matthews called it. Maybe told us what Bay's nickname for it was or whatever. But noteworthy and entertaining nonetheless.
I think you're asking too much of Josh on that one, John. I like Josh and all, but naming moves isn't really his thing.
Calling them doesn't seem to be his thing either sometimes. Then let's see. Then we had the backstage segment. Moose being interviewed about his match with Crazy Steve. Only thing really noteworthy about that was that he referred to himself as the real world champion, which of course immediately makes me think of Flair's first run with the WWF.
Exactly.
And, it made me wonder if they were eventually going to blur out the TNA World Title that he's carrying around.
They should have had that at that point. If someone coming in like Scott D'Amore, I'm like, fine, you want to call yourself that? We're blacking out the title.
Exactly. Sometimes this stuff writes itself, and we see it, but they don't.
Yeah.
And then we had a quick segment with Swinger talking trash about buying off the refs at Slammiversary and getting caught, and therefore getting banned from ringside at Slammiversary.
I thought that might actually work out in Chris Bay's favor. I think kind of, Swinger, no good deed goes unpunished, and he might something. I just felt something bad would happen if he would have tried to help out Chris Bay, and it just backfires. I think Chris Bay has got a better shot at becoming an X Division champion now that Swinger's down at ringside.
Yeah, and it makes it a legit match, which is those two. You don't need any extra gimmicks, and that's really all that. No offense, that's what Johnny Swinger is. He's their R-Truth. He's there to make you laugh every week.
Yep.
With some weird '90s wrestling reference or his awful swinglet.
I'm still just shocked that he's still around. Like nobody else shocked. Like, Rhino being around, that doesn't shock me. Ken Shamrock a little bit. Like Johnny Swinger is still.
Well, that's when I first started kind of peeking in at that show again about 6 months ago. I saw him kind of like cutting. Now once again, before I was given the title of Senior Impact Correspondent, I told you that for the last 6 months I watched that show the full 2 hours on fast forward. I barely ever stopped it to hit play. And I guess maybe he passed through a scene where Van Dam was one time, so I stopped to see, if Van Dam would have anything to say that was interesting. And I heard them just say something about Swinger as he passed through the scene, and I didn't even recognize him because he seemed twice the size he was in WCW. And my first thought was, is that the cruiserweight mid-card jobber from the dying days of WCW? Is that the same? Could that possibly be the same guy? So, but he's carved out a nice niche for himself over there as the comic relief.
Yeah, he is. I mean, isn't he co-host of the Locker Room Talk with Madison?
He certainly is.
He does. Ken Shamrock and Sammy Callahan, huh? I didn't see that one coming.
Exactly. Yeah, they say the North came out to explain why they had jumped Ken Shamrock the week before, and then Callahan did his hacker gimmick where the lights went out and he did his Sabu entrance. Lights come back on and he's standing there in the ring. They had just the North had just explained to Ken Shamrock that he was a lunatic. He was unhinged, as if there was anyone who didn't know that, and that he had no friends, so he could find no partner. And Callahan showed up to say, "I will be your partner." And then lights go out, he disappears.
And they had a long-standing feud before. I guess they recently were fighting, right? Didn't they fight at Rebellion?
Yeah. It was. They brought him back to put him into the Hall of Fame, and just to have Sammy jump him, make it very personal, very ugly. And they had their series of matches, and then both of them had pretty much been off TV, other than a couple of sightings of Shamrock backstage just to cross paths with the North to set this up.
Yeah. TNA Championship was on the line. I was pulling for Crazy Steve and his monkey. I love that monkey.
Gotta love that monkey.
But then after the match, this had to have brought a tear to your eye. That promo from one of your I don't know who your ECW guys are. I know a few of them. I don't know if Dreamer's one of them, but Tommy.
If you're an ECW guy, Dreamer's got to be there for you.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to assume.
Yeah, but
Dreamer pulled on your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I did a little more digging into this and found, I guess maybe the next day he went on that Busted Open show that he, I guess, co-hosts or is on quite often. The same one that Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo were on the week before, et cetera, et cetera. He went on there and it did a little bit of an explanation. Now, I assumed watching the show that was a little more than a work, but apparently there's a little more realism to it. He told the story going back to the last days of their Mexico tour before the whole COVID thing shut everything down for a while, that Tommy was working in the last match of the night. He knew he was it was, the high altitude. It was apparently horribly hot. He knew he was going to get a lot of color. He was going to be bleeding the whole night. And because they're in a smaller building, they don't have a hockey locker room to come back to. And, a couple of guys are in little rooms. and his crew was himself, Moose, and Eddie Edwards. Eddie had worked, I guess, earlier in the night. Eddie was gone. Moose worked, I guess, right before him. So Tommy had brought an extra towel from a hotel to make sure that he had that towel to cool down with and actually get clean when he was going to be, dripping with blood. And he worked the last match of the night, went back to his locker room, only to find his towel on the floor with 2 big old moose prints in it. And he snapped a picture of it and sent it to his, at the time, buddy Moose, and was like, what the heck, bro? I come back from my locker room. I come back to the locker room at the end of the night. I don't even have a clean towel because you helped yourself to it, and you don't even hang it up to dry. And apparently Moose didn't respond, just didn't say sorry, nothing. So the two of them have had some hard feelings ever since.
Wow. So, they just throw it right on TV, huh?
And the best stuff has, a good portion of reality to it. Apparently, unless this whole thing is a work, that has a good bit of reality to it.
I'm gonna skip to the main event real quick, and I got a couple questions for you afterwards. I know there's some things that you want to talk about.
Sure.
It was revealed, I guess Josh Matthews was right for just blurting it out of nowhere, that Madman Fulton was the guy that jumped Trey. Trey kind of snapped in the main event last Tuesday.
Sure did.
He kind of went off with some chairs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, first he was in the corner about to get, I believe, a choke slam, and I guess the magic Gambit bow staff was that Ace Austin brings to the ring was hanging by the ring post. He took that and wrapped it around Madman Fulton's head to get him the space, because he was mid goozle. So he got himself some space, picked up a chair, and went off.
Yeah, he got him good. Yeah, that was. It'd be interesting to see what happens tonight, because I don't think Madman Fulton's a guy who want to upset like that. Maybe some retribution is coming tonight. Second anniversary is next week, right? It's a week from Saturday, so we got 2 more shows. We got tonight and then the next week's to go home.
Right.
Real quick before we get into the rumor aspect here with the phone call from Scott D'Amore and the promo they ran after Impact last week, which I know you want to talk about. Real quick question we forgot to bring up last week, and I want to get your opinion on. Tess Blanchard, where do you see her going? And Ty, you can hop in on this one too. Where does Tessa end up here?
Right off the top of your head, you say, well, Dad's over in AEW. But every rumor, and usually, when we're going to make picks, I try to avoid rumors at all costs because I want to come to it fresh. But
and you don't want SpongeBob.
But in trying to do my research to be the Impact correspondent, I purposely looked for some rumors there, and supposedly AEW has next to no interest in Tessa. And a lot of people kind of have her going to the WWE.
Ty, anywhere Tessa Blanchard? I don't.
Yeah, so I mean, it's weird. Like again, AEW has no interest in her. WWE already let her walk once after the Mae Young Classic because she had an attitude problem. She's hard to work with behind the scenes. But at the same time, she's put quite a name on herself as far as being a drawer goes lately. So it's kind of do you take the risk, seeing that your undoubtedly biggest woman on the roster, Becky Lynch, is going to be out till probably around the Royal Rumble. Charlotte Flair's out for a couple weeks. She's not going to be gone terribly long. Do you think WWE needs her is the real question. I would probably lean more towards no, but there's a lot of people that WWE doesn't or didn't need, and they still got them anyway. So it won't surprise me.
Yeah.
If I had to pick right now, though, I would say of the two, she ends up in WWE.
Yeah, that's from what I've been seeing too. I don't click on the articles; I just scroll past them. And my knee-jerk reaction was exactly right. Tully Blanchard is an AEW. She could be a star there. She could run a division. Let them teach. But the thing is, if they don't have any interest in her, WWF already got rid of her. It's almost like she's the Chevy Chase of professional wrestling here, where it's just like she's so good on screen, but she's impossible to deal with behind the scenes, like I don't understand. I think it might do more harm than good. It would have to be if she goes to WWE. I'd say more harm than good if she goes to NXT. I wouldn't put her in NXT at all. I would throw her on Raw. That's what they want to do. Feed her to Nia Jax. Welcome to the team.
Well, I think if they do pick her up, maybe she sits out for a little while and they wait till Charlotte comes back. Because since we never got the horsewomen of NXT versus the horsewomen of Ronda Rousey's camp, maybe they go, Flair versus Blanchard, and they bring her back just to see how that works out. And if she's a nightmare, then they give her the boot after they have Charlotte inevitably pin her.
If she's in Mexico right now, she doesn't want to come stay. She's just staying AAA for it. She's got to grow up. I mean, that's what I've been. That's kind of what I've been hearing. And she's just a horrible person backstage, and she just needs to grow up. To stay in AAA and relax. And apparently there's been other comments going on around about it too. But okay, real quick, John, before we get into our picks, Scott D'Amore had a phone call.
Yes, right after the North, had their square off with Sammy and Ken Shamrock. They were furious because they were not dressed to compete. So they ran backstage and bumped into their countryman, Scotty D'Amore, who was just finishing up a phone call with a couple of good brothers who he said would fit in perfectly. And as he put the phone away, he bumped into the North. And that's when the match for Slammiversary was made, because he was not going to let that stand, to have his countrymen upstaged like Shamrock and Sammy Callahan just did. But as you're saying, to get back to
the day before Canada Day.
Yes, exactly. So, but yes, as I said to you in private conversation, or maybe it was even in a Facebook post, I think that the North, in all likelihood, get through Shamrock and Callahan via some heel tactics, but I think they've got a couple of good brothers in their immediate future thereafter.
Yep, and the North are in trouble.
Yeah.
And we'll get to they ran. I love the flashbacks. Remember this Impact Championship match, and it was Eric Young winning the World Championship, and then they ran a pretty interesting video after the show.
Yes, and what I've come to call the Marvel Cinematic Universe end credits scene.
Yes, exactly.
They seem to do one of these every week. We saw the Super Eric singlet and mask, and a hand reach out and grab the mask as the screen went to black. And since they've already leaked tonight cold open, the first 3 minutes of the show tonight, we see Swinger come into the screen and happen upon those same articles, and he at the time I wasn't watching during the Super Eric era, so I had assumed that's who it was about, but it took me quite a bit of Google searching to find out that I was correct in my assumption. But had I waited till this week, Swinger walks in, sees the stuff, picks up the mask, and goes, "Super Eric," and kind of tosses the mask and walks off screen. So another big tease for who could be one of possibly multiple former champions returning.
Yeah, and not to mention, they said when we'll get into it next week when we make our Slammiversary picks, they announced that there will be only 4 people in the main event, and one of them they're not going to announce till the show. So that'll be interesting. Real quick, John, because we got to keep moving forward here. We have 4 matches, I believe, signed for tonight. We got Sammy Callahan and Josh Alexander. I think Sammy's the singles wrestler here. You got to go Sammy.
I would have to agree with you.
All right, and then your girl Jordan Grace in a non-title match as a tune-up for Slammiversary. She's got Kimberly.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Grace if this one finishes cleanly. I don't put it past Purrazzo to get involved, but assuming we get a real ending to it, I'm going to go with my girl Jordan Grace.
I think it's about time Jordan Grace gets one up on her too. I think Purrazzo maybe tries to get involved and Jordan catches her post-match or something and puts her. She's got to start fighting back here.
I would enjoy that greatly.
Yeah, Susie and Kylie Ray against Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. I like Taya and Rosemary, but that's just a weird pairing. This is a weird feud.
Yeah, I don't really, Taya walked into the middle of locker room talk last week as her charge there, pardon me, John E. Bravo
Yep.
was hitting on Rosemary, and Taya just, basically took Rosemary's hand and let her off because she was looking for a partner. No build up, no explanation.
You guys know I am the easiest critic what there is with wrestling. I pretty much that segment was awful. Like that was just that was painful to watch. And that it takes a lot for me to be like, man, that was just terrible. That locker room talk segment was. I sent John Smith the link to the show because he wants to start being a part of these conversations. I'm like, dude, like, don't judge the show based on locker room talk. Like, just accept that was hard. It's not always that bad. Like, it's pretty good.
The one redeeming element of that whole bit was anytime Taya, passes, and they've had it happen about 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Whenever she passes cross paths with Swinger, and asks him, have you seen Bravo? I can't find Bravo. Swinger every time referred. Tell Dino I haven't seen Dino in years. Tell him I love the guy.
He mentioned Frenchie Martin, I think, a week ago or something.
Yeah.
He mentioned Frenchie too. He mentioned Frenchie.
Frenchie Martin's not here to bail you out, buddy.
I'm gonna go with Taya and Rosemary on that one.
Yeah, likewise.
And then there's a fatal 4-way. I don't know if it's elimination or not, but you got 4 tag teams going at it. We got pretty much the other 4 tag teams, not named the North.
Right.
TJP and Falaba versus Reno Scum versus Triple XL versus the Deaners.
Yes. I'm going to go with TJP and Falaba just for the sake of momentum.
Yeah, they had to pick them last week against Reno Scum. I'm picking Reno Scum again. I'm gonna double down on them again. Hopefully, I don't lose out too much here. So we're gonna keep John the Connie. We're gonna keep you on for a quick one more part of a segment, real quick, because we know I personally know you are big into championship belts, collecting them, auctioning for them. I know you showed me the Facebook pages that you're on.
Yes, spending way too much money on them. Yes. Yeah.
But last night, MVP and Bobby Lashley debuted this. Which is apparently the new United States Championship belt. And I'm using the word apparently because I'm not buying it. I will let you. I know, actually, John. Before we get to you, I know Tyler has something he wants to say. Get this off his chest. I know he was he texted me last night. He wasn't happy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Intercontinental title was bad, but my God, I didn't think they could possibly do worse. I'm gonna pull up a picture of the belt one more time. Let's take it. Oh, that's good. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean,
I'm not joking. I was setting you up.
No, I mean,
you got more jokes. I was setting you up.
I know.
Okay.
I gotta space them out. It's one. I saw somebody last night actually did a little bit of Photoshop with the belt and moved the eagle with the stripes up to the middle of the title and moved the word champion down. I thought that looked 10 times better.
I think the word champion is way out of place here.
I'm thinking, my thing is with champion and bright blue big letters across the front, it's like it almost looks kind of Impact-ish to me. Almost like I've seen this before.
I saw a couple comments from people saying that the stars that are on top above the word United States, where the WWE logo is, that should have been the blue background and not the word champion. John McConaughey. Oh,
yeah. No, go ahead. I see.
You got jokes. You'll get your jokes in. Don't worry about it.
You're good.
As the belt aficionado.
Yeah, well, that was my first thought, was that clearly that the shape of the plate is supposed to be mildly reminiscent of the belt that they're apparently doing away with, even though Al's not buying it yet.
Not buying it.
If that was the case, then yes, absolutely, the stars should have a blue background. Like when I see that title, I don't immediately think, from far away, I couldn't even see the word United States above champion.
Wow.
And I almost couldn't perceive the red and white stripes. So if you made the stripes maybe a little bolder, a little thicker, and put the blue background behind the stars, okay, that's the U.S. title. I get that. But I will say this. If you showed me that belt with no reference, someone was creating a new title, I would say, kill it with fire. But having seen the Intercontinental title, having seen them take the masterpiece of Reggie Parks that has been my favorite title since I was in short pants, exactly, and do what they did to it, making it so forgettable and just colorless, lifeless, and boring, I think this one is a vast improvement. And apparently, I don't know that the same company made them. I assume it did. They had them both made, I think, almost 2 years ago. They were supposed to swap them out somewhere around SummerSlam, or at least that was the heavy rumor back at that time. And then it just, Vince changes his mind, every time the wind blows, and they shelved that. And then they, the night that they brought out the Intercontinental title, it was just kind of like, oh, by the way, Shinsuke, you're on your way to the ring. Here's your new title, and it's awful. So I think this one, even though the circumstances were weird, I think this one is 1,000 times better than the Intercontinental title, even though it's still god-awful. And I think really the only decent titles that they've had created in the last, I don't know how many years, are the NXT women's and men's world. Those are the best titles in the company.
Yep. All right. Well, John, we appreciate your opinion. We will be getting back to you later on for our Great American Bash picks. So stand on by, and we will talk to you soon.
All righty.
Okay, Ty. I know you got more things to say about the U.S. title. You may proceed.
It's terrible. I just don't understand it. It's like, I'll pull it up one more time. It's just, it's in here somewhere. Let me see. Oh, God. No, that's even worse.
Here's the thing. I'm not buying this. Why would MVP be the one to get this new belt? Why? I'm not understanding this. I think this is a prop. I don't think this is real.
I'll be honest with you. I really wanted to believe the same thing last night, that it was like, oh, they're just using this so they can do one of those things where MVP can self-proclaim U.S. champion until Extreme Rules. So he has something to walk around with at least. But I don't know if you saw, but last night, within like 15, 20 minutes of it being on TV, they were up for sale on shop.com already.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So it's like, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Vince and friends to make this a title that's only going to last 2 weeks. But if it's a title that's going to last 2 or 3 weeks and then get the JBL garbage can treatment, I'd be pretty pissed if I dropped $450 on it and it's never going to be. I mean, if you drop $450 on this thing, you're dumb. You could probably buy it at the dollar store, but.
I think the only way this belt survives is if MVP wins next weekend at Extreme Rules. That's 10 push-ups. The horror show at the Extreme Rules.
Yeah,
I mean, the only way this belt survives. Like, why would Apollo Crews, if he defends the title at Extreme Rules, why would he take MVP belts and then have hit? No, you have yours. Like, yeah. I'm not getting this whole thing.
And I was a very big advocate for the longest time of. With titles changing and getting their makeovers, I didn't. The U.S. title was the one title I never wanted them to touch, and I thought I was actually going to get what I wanted for a while, and then last night,
I thought both renditions, even the WCW version of the United States Championship, was amazing. I know John Smith has a replica. He's backstage right now. Maybe we can make sure he'll bring that on. When he comes back for his for when we talk about NXT, but I thought both of those. I thought it wasn't a step back at all when WWE changed it, and now it's just going to take some getting used to.
Yeah, I mean, like the WCW version was fantastic. The most recent one that we are apparently losing in less than 2 weeks, I think, is the best one they've ever had. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like my belts, with the exception of Big Gold, to be nice and eventful. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people knocked the spinner, but you know what? It was something new and different, and it was kind of like all over the place. And when you saw it the first time, you were like, "This is kind of like." I think everybody. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to speak for anybody here, but I think almost everybody thought that belt was cool for at least the first month it was around, because it was something new.
Yeah, well, he did it with the United States title too when he won it. When he beat Orlando Jordan for it, he made the United, or he didn't beat Orlando Jordan. Whoever he beat for, he made the U.S. title into a spinner first before he beat JBL.
Yeah, I mean, and that was another fantastic title. It was nice and colorful, the nice silver border with the studs through it, and it spins. And I'm a sucker for spinning titles. But you think about how much you were able to do with that just one spinner title. Edge was able to throw his thing in there. The Miz just turned the thing upside down.
Now you're thinking like I am. It's worse with Miz.
It's like, Miz ever becomes world champion again, he's just going to wear the belt upside down.
Yep.
The Intercontinental title, I think, if I'm correct, around the 2011-12 area, when actual Cody Rhodes was in WWE doing his whole segments with the Big Show and the face mask. I thought that was a really smart move to go back to the old design. Yeah. These tag team pennies, I don't particularly care for them. To me, they look like giant pennies. But I mean, I want to say, I'm going to pull it up one more time. I want to say maybe it'll grow on me, but I'm not.
Yeah, like I said, I'm convinced right now it's just a prop. Like I said, unless MVP is scheduled to win, there's no reason why Apollo Crews is taking that title if he defends at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I mean, unless they kind of put him in one of those situations like at, what was it, Mania 32? Or whichever Mania it was, where, they have someone there to collect the title from him at ringside. Like they took the Divas title from Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Or you can hang him from a ladder and make it climb for both of them. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think MVP has seen his last ladder match. I wouldn't put MVP in a ladder match.
No, I wouldn't put. Yeah, that you might kill him.
Moving forward, Ty.
What you got?
I don't know if you're going to agree with this segment, but for the first time, let's go with ever. I was going to say in a very long time, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time ever I was actually upset that Jinder Mahal was injured and off TV. Because last night, he was the missing piece of that puzzle I think that everybody wanted to see one last time. Heath Slater, man, that was unbelievable promo. That was real. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing performance and a promo by Heath Slater.
Yeah, for somebody who really didn't have to be there, and for somebody who's pretty much a free man in 10 days, he didn't have to be there. He didn't have to try. He could have went on camera and done something stupid. Granted, it was also, I believe Raw was also taped last night, so we would have never known anyway. But the fact is he still went there and gave it 110%.
Yeah. And he did his job too. Like I said, he's not known. I guess he took the Claymore and he was done. But we got the moment. The match was irrelevant. I don't think anyone's going to remember that match. It was 2 seconds, one kick, and that was it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know. We're going to see Heath again, possibly July 18th. Because he does have a buddy in Impact, and we all do believe that he is going there. I think he said something on Twitter that he's already signed. I don't know the whole thing.
Oh, a lot of these guys claim to be having big things in the next 2 weeks. So we'll see. Wouldn't surprise me. I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of companies, Impact, not especially, but Impact, for the lack of better terms, they always hurt for talent, I guess. I guess one of their biggest problems is retaining people, getting to keep them around long term. So yeah, if Slammiversary comes around or the Impact after, if you must, wouldn't surprise me to see a handful of faces walk down the ramp.
Speaking of rumors and everything, we're gonna keep SpongeBob up here a little bit because this is for everybody
Yeah, we're gonna need
on
him.
the internet that was led to believe that Kairi Sane is done with professional wrestling. They're gonna send her back over to Japan. She's gonna finish a contract as an ambassador. She's gonna start a family. Welcome back, Kairi Sane. And cue the music, cue the umbrella spinning, and here comes my Japanese darling. I was happy to see her last night, more than just seeing her, but the fact that she just shoved all those rumors right up everyone's ass, and it was beautiful.
Well, I don't want to be that guy because I know we don't do rumors here too much, but the show was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Who knows? So I think if I'm correct, everything is at least a week off of when it's actually happening. I don't want to see her go, and it's pretty blatantly obvious that she's going basically because of Nia Jax and the injuries she's getting from her.
Yeah.
And it's a damn shame, especially because I think we can all mutually agree, you, myself, and the two Johns, that Nia Jax sucks. I hate her. And the only reason she's sticking around this long is because of her cousin.
Yeah.
And it makes me hate her.
She's been off TV for a little bit, so maybe she's working on some things. She's been out for a couple weeks, right?
Well, it's making me hate her cousin.
She hit the referee. I don't remember the repercussions that came from that, but she's been off TV for a while now. Maybe she is somewhere training and trying to be safer. I don't know. Trying to give the people the benefit of the doubt that they're trying.
No benefit of the doubt. Goodbye.
So, Tyler.
So, Al.
Where's an eye for an eye match?
I did see that.
What is it?
I don't know, but whatever they choose to do, they should be extremely careful.
Yeah, somebody could lose an eye.
No, not even from somebody losing an eye factor. It's how they go about somebody losing an eye. Because this match already doesn't sound PG.
You mean the Cole show, the horror show?
That definitely is not PG. I think, if you put Rollins over Mysterio, it's very easy. You give him a curb stomp or grate his head against the stairs again.
Yeah.
How Mysterio would do it, though, how he would take an eye from Seth Rollins is interesting because, he's already got to use a step ladder to get up to his eyes to begin with. So that's already, you're taking like 5 seconds right there just for him to get to the guy.
Yeah.
The guy's already got time to move.
Yep.
I would think. Something we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks now. Before I disappeared, but there's no way Dominic's not getting involved.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he fits in. Like I said, I eventually do want the turn and the swerve. I just don't want it right now.
Yeah, I think maybe it's one of those things. I see Dominic picking up the win from Mysterio, and not even like having to get too involved. Just that classic like pen tucked all the way in the hand thing.
He's the one that does the eye damage. He's the one that does.
So. Well, because they're still. What's that?
I was gonna say, how would Seth Rollins look at an eye patch? That's another thing we got to consider on it. If Rollins loses, he's gonna be a pirate for a while.
Yeah, Paul Burchill could probably lend him a couple of pieces. No, you know what it is I feel like WWE's been so high up on putting Dominic in the promos and getting him involved that if there was ever a time to set those, it's if you could you're in a situation where you could have Dominic take out Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins being the heel he is, I'm not going to compete till I'm 200% cleared. You can keep him off for about 4 or 5 months and that's an extra 4 or 5 months of training for Dominic. You know what I mean? To set them up. But I hate to do this, but I got to pull up our good friend over here. But with everything from the last couple of days, the whole Mysterio not getting in his extension, does that play a role in whether or not Dominic's going to get to stick around?
I think he sticks. I don't see why.
They just seem too invested in the kid to where they would let him go. But I think if one stays, clearly the other one's staying with him. So
yeah, I can't see like Dominic. I can't see Dominic in WWE training, and then all of a sudden Ray just shows up, and he's a part of the elite. That'd be pretty weird.
That would it wouldn't make much sense.
Randy Orton got Andrade Angel Garza pretty motivated last night. They worked together pretty well. They didn't seem to go at it, so that's just 1 week safer for them being together. I know they've been fighting a lot. It's kind of been upsetting me. I want them to stay together with Zelina. Orton got him in line last night, so that was a nice big win for Randy Orton. I don't really have much to say about that. You got anything to say about that?
No, I mean, it was a nice. It kind of looked like it reminded me a little bit of Legacy a bit, which I'd rather them not try to replicate.
Yeah, you mentioned that the three generation superstars.
Well, it's not even that I'd be against it, but depending on how with Edge's recovery and his timeline and everything, the last thing you want to do is have this guy come back and then you have to half-ass your way out of a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're going to do it, I'd rather them do it the right way. Nice to see Big Show though.
Yeah, I think he's the panic button right now that Edge got hurt.
And if I'm correct, he's like after, excuse me, since I guess technically WrestleMania, he's got to be in like the 30s for heel turn, face turns now, because he came out at WrestleMania to go after McIntyre as heel.
Yeah, he's Big Show.
Now he's a Viking Raider.
Yeah, now he's a fan. Now he's got a Netflix show. He's a
Netflix show. But no, it's nice to see him around. I think it should. It's cool right now. I'm actually enjoying Raw.
Good. Yeah, and actually, the main event, Nikki Cross, she distracted Bayley. Asuka got the win in the champions versus champion match. Kyrie was at ringside, which was nice to see. Sasha was at ringside. It was a nice little scuffle. Now, next week, Ty, we had another tag team championship match. Sasha and Bayley are going to put the belts on the line against the Kabuki Warriors. You see the title change here now? I want to see it just to keep Kyrie on TV.
If Kairi Sane and Asuka win, that puts all of the departure rumors to rest. But at the same time, I don't see Vince or writers or creative, whatever you want to call them, going back-to-back double champions with their tag titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's taking away, the titles from teams like your favorites, the Iconics.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's I don't see. I feel like when Sasha and Bayley do drop the titles, it's going to be to a team like that. I don't see Kyrie and Asuka winning.
I don't know. I'm going to say if Bayley and Sasha, I just feel like they're too important right now. They're on every show every single week. I think they're just you got to leave the tag belts with them for now so they can be on all three shows. That's the loophole with why they're everywhere. Eventually, what I would like to see is when the dust settles next weekend and after all the feud and everything, I want to see a Sasha and Bayley versus the Kabuki Warriors in like a win. Like the Kabuki Warriors are the tag champs, Sasha and Bayley they're the singles champs, and then it's the titles for titles, winner takes all type deal. The same thing that Austin and Triple H did with the Undertaker and Kane when the two-man power trip started. I would love to see Sasha and Bayley be the two-woman power trip in all this. I'm not sure how it's going to happen. I don't think putting the titles on the Kabuki Warriors now, though, is the answer.
No, I don't think so either.
Moving to SmackDown real quick, Ty. Did you know that Matt Riddle doesn't wear shoes even when he is with a bear?
That's not safe.
But he doesn't care. He never wears shoes. In a match that I didn't know I wanted to see until John Morrison came down the aisle. What a match between John Morrison and Matt Riddle.
Yeah. No, they tore it up. They, Matt Riddle, obviously, he's going to be, they have him strapped to a rocket and flying forward right now, which is a good thing. You see too many of these NXT guys come in and they're relevant for a month or two. Like Shayna Baszler, where's she been? So it's nice to see that, it's nice to see an NXT guy actually doing well after a call-up.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff, Morrison did some amateur wrestling maneuvers there in the beginning. I didn't know he knew how to do all that stuff. I don't know if he's been training or whatever, but a great performance by both guys. And it was a cradle-style win, like a pinfall. He didn't knock him out. He didn't hit him with the bro Derek. He didn't do anything. He out-wrestled John Morrison and held his shoulder. He could have held him down for 10 probably. Morrison wasn't moving. He couldn't move. And Morrison knew it too. He was pretty... He was upset after Riddle after the pinfall. He got he got out wrestled. Speaking of out wrestling, another Donnybrook of a match. AJ Styles, I want to say it was a statement win because he hit a Styles Clash, hit a power bomb into the Styles Clash, followed by the phenomenal forearm. And after a great match, but he just thumbed out Drew Gulak at the end, and that was a statement win in my book.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see him kind of to bully Drew Gulak for the last portion of that match like that. I mean, again, SmackDown was 2 for 2 that night, just right there.
Right off the bat, too. Those are the first 2 matches. The Intercontinental Championship match didn't even have intros. They were already in the ring and they were just going at it. Wait a minute, is this for the belt? And the graphic came up. I'm like, okay, I guess they're going at it. And it was phenomenal. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended.
Pun 100%.
I intend that pun. Going into next week's picks for SmackDown, Sasha and Bayley, before their title defense on Raw Monday, they got Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in a non-title match. Bayley fought Alexa Bliss last Friday, got the win after Nikki Cross just couldn't take it anymore. Jumped in the ring and started beating up Bayley. So they're doing a tag team match as it's set up because, as you know, Nikki is challenging for the SmackDown Women's title at Extreme Rules. Who do you got in that tag team match coming up, Ty?
See, I didn't think about that. That actually makes it interesting because you're going to have SmackDown going right into Extreme Rules. I know it's a non-title match. Yeah.
They are everywhere.
Because the way I see it is Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win carried over some pretty bad momentum for Bayley and Sasha into Sunday. Probably screams not so good news for them.
Yeah.
If Bayley and Sasha win 2 times within 72 hours, I might fling myself into the dishwasher. I'm
going to do that though. I think they're going to win. Maybe Nikki gets something next week or whatever to get the one-up, getting some momentum going in the show. But I'm going to go Sasha and Bayley this week for both Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And then the SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line. Another gem of a match. SmackDown was just throwing out gems like they're going out of style last week. Shinsuke Nakamura beat Kofi Kingston. And now they're finally going to have the tag title match. I don't know, maybe is this too soon? Why not put this on the pay-per-view? I know we have that discussion all the time. But maybe this is like a no contest. Maybe, like I said, Cesaro introduced a table after the match. Maybe they're kind of setting up for something. I think that's where I was getting at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I have my opinions on title matches being left off of a pay-per-view card. I know realistically, I know it's not easy to do. I know sometimes you get deeper invested into some stories than others, but it's still a title.
Yeah.
The fact that Cesaro sets up a table post-match gives me some hope.
Yeah, it's exactly what it does. And you know, they didn't use it, and they might tease it again this week or something like that, or actually use it to cause a disqualification. Like there's ways to set up some kind of horror show table match for Extreme Rules. I mean, I think that's why I want it. That's why I want to see this go.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I don't want to say they could end up on the pre-show, but with look, they'll probably end up on the pre-show.
I don't know. Apollo Crews is fighting. You never know.
And he's fighting. He's fighting MVP.
It's unfair, unfortunately. But if you're gonna put Apollo Crews on Andrade on the pre-show, you can put Apollo Crews and MVP on the pre-show. Real quick, Ty. I was gonna go over the New Japan Cup final is set.
Go for it.
I was 50% right. My boy Evil from the LIJ, he made it to the finals, and he did it some vicious things on his way there. He took out his own tag team partner with a chair. He swung a baseball bat, hit the chair. He just did some nasty things with his own tag team partner. And then in the quarterfinals, the round before that, he took out Yoshihashi pretty quickly with some viciousness. Evil, he's looking motivated right now. I did the mistake by betting against Kazuchika Okada. That's never a good idea. I had him losing to Ishimori, the Bone Soldier from the Bull Club. That didn't happen. Okada's in the finals, and Tyler, that will be on Saturday morning, I believe, the 11th. I think there's something else important that day. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But that match is the New Japan Cup final that morning, and then the next day will be Dominion, where the winner will challenge Tatsuya Naito for both the NWJP Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. He's all Becky Two Belts over there, over in Japan. He's the man right now, the leader of the LIJ. It looks like I'm going to go with him and Evil. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to bet against Okada. I always do. I want to see new people, but when I was talking to Kenny P the other day, when he was on as our New Japan correspondent, I would figure you save Okada for a big event, a bigger event than a 30%, where he was saying that. I'm saying throwing it right away because that was the thing. I'm backwards here. You know, just to try to get the viewers back in again. You know, New Japan was off for a while. It took a break. Everything was delayed. I think it would be a good way to get back into it. But Evil just looks too motivated for me. I'm going to go Evil. Is going to get the win over Tatsuya Naito. I don't see him being over Okada. I don't see him being Naito, though. I think Naito's going to go big. He's going to be all Becky Two Belts going in the Wrestle Kingdom. A nice feud developed between these four in the tournament. I mentioned Tachi and Zack Sabre Jr. They took out pretty much Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi, they all faced each other. So Ibushi beat Zack Sabre Jr. Then Taichi beat both Tanahashi in the first round, and Ibushi in the second round with help from Zack Sabre Jr. So they get a nice little feud going. That guy Taichi, I'm going to go with new champions here, Ty. That guy Taichi's, he lost a tough one to Sonata, but I think that was just because this is the feud that he's going with right now. And then, who's that? Shingo, that's right. That's Shingo from LIJ. I'm getting my guys. I can't see with the graphic there. Shingo from the LIJ, the Never Openweight Championship. I'm going to take him over Sho, who is one half of the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions from Roppongi 3K. Those guys got jacked, though. I was very impressed with Sho and Yo during their New Japan Cup tournament. So that's just a quick rundown of the New Japan Cup. Again, that's this weekend. The final is on the 11th, Saturday morning, Eastern time here. And then Dominion will be Sunday morning. We're going to bring back in our NXT senior correspondent, John Smith. John, welcome back, pal. How's everything going?
Good, man.
Did you enjoy your time off right there? We haven't seen you in about an hour. Did you enjoy your time off?
Yeah, I almost didn't make it back in time. No, I'm kidding.
Real quick, thoughts on night one. You want to run down what you have? Anything go over with night one here?
Well, I mean, NXT definitely had a really big show feel to it last week with this with the Great American Bash. It's when you compare it to AEW. AEW felt like a normal Dynamite with a rocket up its ass. You know,
Well, you know what? The theme music for Dynamite played. Like, I was actually shocked by that.
right?
It actually played, light the fuse, bring the boom, Dynamite. And I was like, wait, this isn't Dynamite, though. Anyway, so I get that. I agree with that.
Yeah, generally speaking, it just made you realize the actual difference between NXT and AEW. You know, when all the chips are on the table, NXT put out such an awesome show from top to bottom and was able to pull viewers away when they could from the other channel. And ultimately, by the end of the show, they had 200,000 more viewers than AEW did. And it's not by accident. It's because they've made us care about every match that we're about to see. Wardlow and MJF versus Jurassic Express, like, cool, great match, but why do I care? You know, all these matches, there's something.
You turn over and you got a fatal 4-way for the number one contender for the women, and they tore it down, John.
Yeah, they did. Oh, I was way off. I called the heel victory. I thought Dakota Kai would win, and if not, Candice LeRae, and then we end up with Tegan Knox. So good on you, Al. But it was kind of a slow start to the match, but then it picked up real quick. And there's solid spots by all four. You know, them ganging up on Candice LeRae was nice. Yep. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was great. Ty, your thoughts on the match? That was the one match you said. I know you got caught up with some video problems. Did you catch the fatal 4-way?
Yes. I was telling you before in pre-production, the matches I caught were the fatal 4-way. I caught the handicap match with Rhea Ripley, and I caught the strap match. For some reason, on Hulu, it didn't give me the full show, so I did miss out on the other two matches. I don't know why, but I'm very angry with Hulu. The Fatal 4-Way is a good match. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I know each of us had a different competitor picked.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. I was fighting all four of you.
That was definitely nice. I thought it was a great match. It was a great way to start off the show.
Timothy Thatcher and Oney Lorcan did not disappoint at all. We didn't think it would, John Smith.
Yeah, that was a clinic. There was no wasted movement whatsoever. You know, you see somebody slap somebody in the chest with the woo. Normally, they stand there to let it, reverberate. But they're slapping those chests and then grabbing a hold right after, and it made me really enjoy the match even more. Like, it felt like a worked shoot more than it felt like a wrestling match, and I really liked it.
Yeah, and then Thatcher was pulling out some moves. The single leg crab, where he had it was a weird position. He won it with the Fujiwara armbar. He stretched him. That was exactly what they've been wanting to do with him. They've been showing those Thatch Can videos. Ty, have you seen those videos or?
No, not yet. I haven't. I'm a bad person.
Yeah, no problem. He's been stretching people in a dungeon. Very Stu Hart-esque, very Cobra Kai-esque, as we discussed last week. Rhea Ripley. Is that a double cloverleaf?
It was.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very creative way to end that match.
Yeah, Leah's one thing, but taking, Robert Stone, who was despite the character he's playing right now, he's a former Impact Tag Team Champion, a former Impact X Division Champion. Like, Robert Stone, Robbie E., if you know him in Impact, the guy can go. So, like, the fact that she was able, that was very impressive. So, Rhea Ripley avoided joining the Robert Stone brand. She looked, when she wasn't getting ganged up on, when she was getting her offense in, she looked pretty dominant in that one.
Yes, she did. I really love that cloverleaf, too. That's my favorite submission move of all time, to be honest.
Really?
With you. The same move.
I know the answer now. Northern Lights suplex for me. And you got the Texas cloverleaf. Gotcha.
Yup. I used it when I used to backyard wrestle.
All right, the strap match, John. I know you were really looking forward to that one.
Oh, yeah. I love Dexter Lumis. I love him more and more every week. I mean, he looked so strong by the end of this. Yeah. Being able to overcome Bobby Fish. They really had me, too. When Bobby Fish came out, I was like, I can't believe they're going to have Dexter Lumis lose this. And, they did a good job of making me believe I was wrong for a second, but it was a great match.
And as the one person out of the four of us that picked Roderick Strong, I was the one. I'm like, oh my god! If I go perfect with Roderick Strong and Tegan Knox, I'm going to throw it right in everybody's face. was wrong. So, Ty, any thoughts on the strap match? I know that was the one match you did see, right?
Yeah, no, that was one of the ones I did see. Yeah, I thought it was great. You don't really see those very often, and Dexter Lumis is terrifying.
I just wonder, is this going to continue? Is Dexter Lumis going to still be involved with the Undisputed Era moving forward, or are they going to have the Dream come in and start the tag team up because of the picture that you drew a couple of weeks ago?
I think it depends on what happens tomorrow with the Adam Cole-Keith Lee match. If Adam Cole loses, I could see Dexter Lumis just individually picking them apart one by one so they can go in their own directions. Maybe Adam Cole works his way up to over to Raw and SmackDown. 10 push-ups, and they do whatever else they do whatever else they have to do with the other ones.
I love that idea.
Yeah, Dexter Lumis and Adam Cole would be that would be phenomenal, man.
I mean, he already got away with kidnapping one of them before they can break up. I mean, the sky's the limit now.
Then, Ty, unfortunately, you missed the main event. The match that beat out Kenny Omega in the ratings. How about that? Sasha Banks channeling her old NXT self, coming out in a very fancy sports car. I think she usually had the gentleman with her to carry her or whatnot. She just had Bailey, who had a puppy, if I remember correctly. I don't know. John Smith, your thoughts on the main event?
Oh, it was great. It's really showing that they don't need Becky or Charlotte to be around to have some really good women's matches. Sasha and Bailey have been holding up the women's division across the board, and now, I mean, I think that all these Japanese ladies are on another level too. I mean, Asuka, Io, even Shida over in AEW. I think they're a level above any of the other women's wrestlers we've got. So, but now that people like Sasha and Bailey are improving their game and coming on up, they can go ahead and beat 5-star Omega in a main event, and I love that.
So, I mean, honestly, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Sasha and Bailey are better wrestlers than Becky and Charlotte. I think they're the ones that I want to see down. If you're going to send guys down to NXT to help them and whatever, and have those are the two I want down there.
Absolutely, Becky had the gimmick. Charlotte has the legacy, but these girls, they've been having a scratch and claw for a while now. Bailey and Sasha are the two that have kind of gotten left behind a little bit, and now they're showing us what they're worth now.
All right, real quick, we're running out of time here. It is Double Play Tuesday. We have another show coming up in a half an hour. We got to make sure we're all for. We're going to bring John DeConnie back in to join us to make our NXT picks. There we go. There's John DeConnie. Good to see you again, John.
Hello again.
So real quick, we'll just throw up the standings. John and I, we did pretty well last week. I said I went 4-1. I believe John went 4-1 as well. Tyler, you got to start catching up, buddy.
Yeah, I'm getting curb stomped over here.
Okay, we're gonna start with a match that it's not the New Japan Cup. What are we doing? There we go. And I actually got a new graphic for the Bash. There you go. I got our Bash graphic. We're gonna start off with, it's actually all the way down the bottom because they just announced it's Isaiah Swerve Scott and Johnny Gargano. They're gonna get at it after an altercation that they had backstage last week. Tyler, we'll start with you, pal.
I'll take Gargano.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, give me Gargano. I think the first family of NXT is going to have a good night.
Yeah, I'm going to be in agreement on that one, too. I think Johnny's going to start picking up some slack here after a bunch of Keith Lee losses. John Smith?
Yeah, I agree. I got Johnny also.
All right. Mercedes Martinez is making her in-ring return. I guess she's been caught wherever she has been. She's been away for a while, but she's coming back. She can go. She's just going to get thrown right into the mix of all this. The next superstars that are coming up. Love to see her mix it up with Tegan or her mix it up with Dakota and Raquel. That should be fun. So I think we'll just save the talking. It's not going to be a Nyla Rose story. She didn't have some kind of surprise or anything. I think this is going to be Mercedes with an enhancement talent, show her stuff, welcome back, and then move forward. It's going to be a triple threat match Legado del Fantasma. Legado, right? Legado del Fantasma. They had a nice little promo last week. Drake Maverick has got more guts than brains, came out alone to try to fight off all three of them after what they did to him, and Breezango came to help him out. So, John DeConnie, we'll start with you first.
As much as I love Breezango and Drake Maverick, I think you got to establish this Legado del Fantasma. They got to win here, and in probably pretty convincing fashion.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll just do my pick real quick. I completely agree 100% with that. As much as I love Breezango, I just can't see this. Ty, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat with you guys.
All right, John?
Yeah, it's the first time we're seeing them as a unit, so it doesn't make sense for them to lose.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I really like what he's doing too, because he's reminding me of what Jinder Mahal should have been when he was the champion. I really like this gimmick that he's got going on.
Nice. It's gonna be nice to see Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde back in the ring.
Yeah,
it's been a while for them. We have, as a result of last week, they're in that fatal four-way match. They had another altercation backstage. These two just absolutely hate each other. We're going to go in the street fight. John DeConnie, you picked Candice LeRae last week. Came up a little bit short, being the first one eliminated. You going to double down on Candice LeRae, or what are we doing?
I'm doubling down. Like I said, the first family's going to have a good night, even if they have to help each other along the way. I think it makes sense to get them back on winning ways if you're going to make anything of this, poison pixie heel turn.
Yeah, Tyler, you went with Mia Yim last week. You're going to double down on Mia.
No. You let me down one time, I'll make the same mistake twice. I'll take Candice.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, Candice wins. This gives them something to throw in our faces for the next month about how they both won on the same night.
I completely agree again. Have we agreed on everything? We picked the exact same picks for every single match.
Have we? Yeah.
We got one last match to go. And this is the Big Daddy. This is the Big Daddy of them all. This is supposed to be I don't even know where to go with this. John Smith, you are the senior correspondent. You can lead us off with this one. This is the biggest, probably Fighter Fest and the Greater American Bash. You got 4 shows in 2 weeks. This is probably the biggest match out of all of them.
Absolutely. After some stuff happened on Twitter last week, I think we've learned that they've recorded multiple endings to this match.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to be revealing any spoilers that were unfortunately possibly revealed last week. I still have Karrion Kross ruining this match. I've been saying it for weeks. I can't go back on it now. So I double count out no contest. No contest.
Wow, that's a bold pick. All right, John DeConnie.
Okay, no contest was not something I even had in my head, but I do see somebody getting involved, and I guess if I have to make a pick, I would go with Cole retaining, because I think, as I said a couple of weeks ago when we started talking about this whole, 6 guys for 2 belts that they had, the crunch at the top of the card at NXT, you don't send Finn there not to have him go against Cole to see who's the greatest NXT champion of all time. And then somewhere down the line, as John has said many times, I see Kross being the one to finally take it from him. So I think Cole retains or becomes double champion.
Tyler and I believe it was episode 1. If you want to go back to I think we actually we had Finn Balor being the guy. Like, I don't know, Ty.
Yeah, we did call the whole Finn Balor thing. We also both mutually agreed that within the next calendar year, Karrion Kross will be the new NXT champion. I'm keeping tabs on it. Don't worry, because so far we're doing pretty well. Despite what I say, I would really, really like to see Keith Lee win. Everything with Karrion Kross going on, it seems unlikely, but I can dream. No pun intended.
I think the whole point of this, if the whole point of this is a ratings war, if the whole point of this is to get people to tune in to watch your show, if the whole point of this is to beat out Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage originally, it's got to be the title change. I think, I don't want to say it's a lock for Keith Lee, but I think the whole reason you do this is so that people tune into your show to see the title change. What happened when Eric Bischoff leaked out that Mick Foley won the title on Raw? Everybody, and I'm not saying, like I said, no spoilers. I didn't read anything. I have no idea what they said. They take multiple endings anyway. But even if that, whatever, the whole point is Keith Lee. That's the guy. And unfortunately, I think Adam Cole, who just celebrated 400 days, I believe, yesterday as champion. Unfortunately, Ty, I think we're going to be wrong on this one. I think Keith Lee is going to be the next NXT champion.
You know, actually, I was thinking about this before, and I have a theory I wanted to run by you without spoiling anything.
Right.
In light of what you were just saying, and the spoiler we were seeing last week dropping out, and obviously we know this is a very big ratings war. Do you think that picture was purposely released to get people to immediately go to their show without even having to think twice?
I didn't see any. I didn't click on any articles. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just saying in general. Do you think something was made public to get people
just to get the people? It's like the Mick Foley thing. So you're pretty much saying that they're doing.
Except
and then they're going to tune in just to see Adam Cole win.
Except WWE drops a spoiler on themselves. You know what I mean?
All right.
It's almost like kind of cheating, kind of not cheating.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting. John Smith, last comment. We got less than 5 minutes here.
I think everything you said about Keith Lee is correct, but I think he's so much the guy that Vince loves him and he wants him on Fox. I don't see them putting the title on him unless he were to turn around and lose it right away. But how does that make you look good when you get bumped right up to Fox? If what I say is true. So, that's why I'm still going with the double. I would put Keith Lee winning third on my list of possible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got to wrap this up, guys. We're running a little show. It is Double Play Tuesday. We have another show starting in 20 minutes. Ty, I believe you have to pay some bills, right? Yeah, I got to talk nicely about some people for a few minutes. Let's see. Anything here? Oh, yes. So, yeah, as you said, tonight is Double Play Tuesday. 8 o'clock, our good friend Joe Jarzinka is going to sit down with Sirius XM Canada and NHL Network Radio's Ryan Patan right here on the Eastern Observer. And Hockey Week is, for anybody who didn't know, this week here at the Eastern Observer, we're going to be celebrating Hockey Week. We're going to be welcoming former Vancouver Canucks, Carolina Hurricanes, and Calgary Flames goaltender Eddie Lack on Wednesday. Joe's going to sit down with him, do an interview. Thursday, we're going to have Vancouver Canucks play-by-play broadcaster Brendan Batchelor, and then former New York Islanders forward Rob Schremp on Saturday, December 11th. All these interviews you can always catch at 8 o'clock right here on the Eastern Observer through the I-95 Sports Network. And Friday, after a mini hiatus, myself, Joe, and our friend Nick will be back for the primetime rundown at 6 p.m. on Friday night. It's been a hot minute, but we're looking forward to getting back out there for you guys. And Al, we like to break news here. Yes, I like breaking news.
So we're the first to announce, before our social media, Primetime Rundown Zoom interview series is going to be welcoming Newsday's New York Mets beat writer Tim Healy on the show this coming Monday at 8 o'clock. Not bad.
That's not bad at all. I think that's next Monday, but it's okay. Maybe I read it wrong when I typed up the graphic.
Yeah, actually next week is baseball week.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we have a whole bunch of baseball stuff. But anybody who's looking for more information on any of our podcasts, sit-down interviews, just go right to our website, theeasternobserver.com. You get plenty of info for you there.
All right, guys, thank you very much. This is the first time. I think this is going to be the happy family. I think this is it. This is our horseman.
This is it.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to come up with any kind of cute nicknames for each other, but let's just, one episode at a time, right? Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. We have about 30 seconds left. Please go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com to make your picks for Fyter Fest, the Great American Bash. Next week, we have Slammiversary and the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. It's all going to be on the website. You can create a pool with your friends, or you can play against us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool. Thank you very much for John Smith, for John DeConnie, for Tyler Adele. My name is Al Karl. Oh, my God, I'm slipping. Where's the picture? Alexa Bliss.
I got you. There you go.
We love you so much, Alexa Bliss. John DeConnie.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
See everybody next week.
See ya.